It's Talk Comics to Me time. I'm Champ Champenstein.
I'm Champ. I'm Heather.
And it's, it doesn't matter what day it is, but it's Thursday here.
It's June 30th, 2022.
So if you're listening to us, I hope everything in the future might be better, but it's doubtful. I will give a pre-warning today because I am going to talk about a lot of gay stuff. Mm-hmm. And I will probably talk about abolition for at least 5 minutes.
Well, you're going to have to with Sabretooth.
Yeah, so I am just pre-warning anyone who's listening that I am going to have a little time.
We've got gay books today, so you're just going to have to deal with it. If you've got a problem with it, I don't know why you're listening to us. Yeah. That's all I've got to say on the matter.
Yeah, that's true. But if it's not for you, I get it. But I just want to give you... I mean, I am wearing a Protect Trans Youth shirt. And
I've got Ronald. A queer icon.
So anyway, yeah. Shit's been bad. Things have been awful. Welcome to listening to us talk about comic books to try and make our brains think about anything else.
So let's get into it.
Go ahead, Heather.
Okay. This is Good Boy. This is volume number 2, issue number 2. This is just John Wick, but told from the opposite end. I guess, like a reverse John Wick.
Yeah.
Human dies and the dog goes on the rampage, pretty much. I don't really know what else to say about this book other than that. In the last issue, a safe home for all these dogs who have gotten out of the life just got destroyed. Everyone killed except for the main guardian. This goes into more of like the guardian's previous exploits. It turns out he was part of like a militia, and the rest of his group kind of finds out what happened at the safe haven, and they recruit the main character Flint to join them so they can go kill the people who killed all of the dogs at the safe spot.
Okay.
So still really enjoy this book. It's very ridiculous, very violent, very silly, but it also has like a really weird message about family in it. Mm-hmm. So I would recommend this just if you want to have a good time. I don't like the fact that there are dead dogs in every issue. That kind of upsets me a little bit, but I get it.
Yeah.
For the sake of the story, I get it. Do it.
Go ahead. Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
And then I have The Ballad of Ronan. This is issue number 2. This is about a girl who is in an orphanage. She keeps running away, trying to figure out like what happened to her family. Turns out the priest, who is the only one that she like has any sort of relationship with, knows a lot of her like family secrets, and he's been trying to protect her this whole time. So in this one, it's hinted at who this girl actually is, but you don't actually know who she is. Okay. In the first issue, there's a whole, I don't know if you know anything about like fairies and changelings and stuff like that.
Just basic information.
Yeah, so basically like in the first issue, the first couple of pages, a baby is killed but really switched out with a fairy baby. So that's kind of what it's hinting at, is she was switched out as a baby and she is actually a fairy. Yeah. Okay. So she is told to go to this place.
Aren't real.
I know, this shit's scary. Freaks me out. It's one of my biggest fears. I refuse to have kids because of it. I don't want my baby switched out. But she is told to go to this location and find someone named Ronan. And in my mind, that's who she was switched out with.
Okay.
So that's pretty much all that's happening. And there's a couple really good author's notes in the back where the writers of this talk about George Perez and Neil Adams and how they affected them growing up and becoming writers and artists and stuff. So
it's really interesting.
Yeah, it was really good.
I like that.
And another thing that I really like about this book is the end. There is always, because it's very heavily influenced by Irish and Celtic mythology, so at the end there's always like a story explaining what inspired them to write this type of story, which I think is very interesting because I don't know a lot about Irish and Celtic mythology, so it's pretty good. I do enjoy this book quite a bit. The art is not really my bag, but the story is, so.
Alright, I get that. So next I have Genderqueer by Maya Kobabe. I hope I am saying that right. I looked it up. This is just a memoir by A. And it just talks about her journey with self-identity and like gender and being asexual and trying to figure that out throughout your life. It was really, really good. It was nice to read and feel things that like I had also gone through personally and like my feelings with gender. So there are a lot of things that were very relatable, and I think you will also find things in there that are really relatable. And this is weird to say on the podcast, but I hope it like helps you with like gender stuff and like like understanding like maybe where you're at in that like world too, because I know that you're a lot like me in the things you kind of feel and think.
Like me personally?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I was like, I thought you were talking to me, but then I was like, wait, is this like a general? I was listening like, yes, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, no, you.
Okay.
Not like you and the audience.
Me personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like even anyone who may be listening to this, it's just an interesting delve into like maybe something you've never thought about. And I think for myself, it's just, something I can really relate to. I wish that something like this had existed when I was younger, even like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Like would have been like really cathartic to read, and just it was still really cathartic to read and nice to, not nice, but because there is still that struggle, that internal struggle, and everything like A went through is different than what I went through, but you can reflect it back. But yeah, I just really, really liked it a lot. And I would suggest it to anybody who especially like is exploring gender and like how they feel about themselves and the complexities of what that can mean to so many different people, because it also talks about sexuality and asexuality so deeply. And that's something like I've never thought about myself, because that is not who I am. But it was like a very good, oops, sorry. I don't know who I'm apologizing to. I just knocked my comic books.
It was just so automatic. Oops, sorry.
But yeah, it was really like good dive into that, and nothing like in my personal experience or like people close to me haven't really talked about that stuff. And it's just like general things like from the internet and tweets and people on Tumblr and stuff like that. So it was like, I don't know, I feel like I have a better grasp, and it was intriguing for me to read and learn.
Right. And you do think, because for those of you listening, I got it for my youngest sibling who struggles. I don't know if struggling is the right word, but
it's just exploring.
Yeah,
like trying to figure out just what, like, because gender isn't like it is a struggle, but it is a lot of like learning and knowing what that means, and also understanding the nuances of what we're kind of like force fed throughout life. So yes,
right.
Continue.
I was just gonna say my youngest sibling. We discussed this sort of thing. They are very asexual. Have never had anything one way or another, and that's just the way they've always been. Like the 25 years that they have been in my life, that's just how it's always been. So that was part of the reason why I got that book. I try to get them a lot of like queer books, books about, I don't know, trans issues, all that kind of stuff, because they did not have that stuff when they were younger, and I think that's why it took them so long to like figure out who they were. And so anytime anything like this comes out, I'm like, yeah, Cecil would love this kind of thing. And that's why I get it, because I'm the older sister and I want them to be comfortable with who they are and know that other people go through that kind of stuff too. So.
Yeah. And I think this is really perfect for that. And I think, like I said, I just wish that this representation had been around, or at least accessible in a way that it is. Well, they're trying to ban this book, and they're Oni Press, and the writer is getting sued for obscenity in Virginia. So it might not be as accessible as like I wish it could be to other people. But this takes place in like the early 2000s, like 2004 on. They're still younger than us. So it is easier. I think the access is easier and better for younger folks.
Right. Does it have like a little about the author? Because I know sometimes they have it in the back. I was just curious how old
I know
they were.
They have a. It has a note in the back, but it doesn't really say. Like throughout the book, it does like tell their age.
Okay, I'll just have to
through
like
different years.
Right.
So.
Okay, interesting. Cute, cool, love it.
Yep. So that's all I have to say. I feel like I've done enough.
Genderqueer.
Genderqueer.
Is what it is called.
Yeah. Sorry if I did not say that.
You did mention it. I'm just saying it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm ready. Next we have Sins of the Black Flamingo. This is issue number 1. This is a very, very gay book.
Yeah, it's very gay. It looks so good.
It does look so good. A little supernatural crime thriller.
About a gay thief. Right?
Yeah. This is my favorite page.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I was flipping through this earlier because I was like, I asked Wendy if she had read it yet because I saw that she had taken it home. Yeah. And I flipped to that page and she said, no, but that's a butt. And I was like, yeah, it's really good. Look at how good this art is. Yeah. And she was like, oh my God, look at that butt.
Yeah, dude, that was like the main thing in my brain. I was like, shit, that ass is so good.
Everyone just looks so good. And like the art is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, the art is incredible. I really like the story. It could be a little wordy in areas, but it was still very enjoyable. I liked the little, I guess, twist at the end, where you kind of think it's just going to be like this normal little heist book, and it's not necessarily that.
This is actually a really good description of the book. I rob from the rich because the poor have nothing worth taking. I steal magic artifacts from idiots and dilettantes. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. And I put them where they belong. So that's pretty much it. He is hired to take back a family heirloom from a group of people.
Yeah.
And that's what starts our supernatural gay journey. It's really good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
really
it.
Good. I liked it a lot.
Quite a bit. I did not, when I forgot how it was solicited. So when you had texted me 2 nights ago about it, I was just like, oh, okay, fuck it, I'll just read it. I could not remember what it was about at all. And I was like reading it, like, what the fuck is happening in this? I cannot remember. But I was like immediately drawn into it because I love that kind of stuff. And again, the art is so good.
Yeah, it was just a really good setup for the story, and just laid down the pieces and introduced you to the characters really well. And yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Stealing from Nazis, I'm into it.
Yeah, no, I thought you would really be into that, honestly. I know you.
Love that.
Okay, so now we have a book by our best friend that was on Substack. This is public domain. This is issue number 1.
Oh, this was on Substack? That's why it is the way that it is. Okay. I had thought you said something about that, but I was like, there's no ads, there's nothing in it. It starts and ends exactly where it needs to.
Yeah, no, that was something I did love, is that it started like right on the front cover and ended on the back cover. That is my jam. So this is a little story about comic book creators and how they can kind of get eaten up by showbiz and stomped on and forgotten. This is kind of a deep cut for, I think, comic book fans and like creators too, and anyone who enjoys the comic book world like thoroughly, like without wanting to necessarily like make money, but rather like love stories. And
dude's dad is a comic book writer, and he does not have any say pretty much in what happens to the rights to his comics, but it's more than that, and it's also exactly that. It was really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. This was also one that I like wasn't sure exactly, because I just saw Chip and was like, done, got it, best friends, got to support him.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like read into it too much and didn't really know what I was expecting. Like I knew, but at the same time, I didn't know the extent of it. So very good looking book.
Yeah, very
reads very well.
Yeah, the art, story, both done by Chip. Yeah, they're just really good. I really, like I said, just a deep cut for people who are really into comics and the comic book world. And I think I kind of, when I was talking to somebody about it the other day, I said it was just like kind of Chip poking at like MCU fans in its own little way. Because it's not like anybody who, I mean, never mind, that sounds rude.
Just say it. I love rude.
I just feel like, it's not like MCU fans are going to be reading this necessarily. Like people who are like MCU fans and not comic book fans.
Right. Okay. I get what you mean.
Because I feel like there is a little crossover, but I feel like the most annoying people who are MCU fans are those people who don't care about the people who created these like stories or made these things actually be, and I don't know, does a disservice to everybody.
Yeah, you got to appreciate where it comes from and how it's made.
Sorry.
No, I love that kind of stuff. So I have the Oblivion Trials. This is a Source Point Press book, issue number 1. This is about a guy who tries to step in between an abusive relationship, and he ends up dying. So when he is in, I don't want to say hell necessarily, I'm going to say the river Styx, because that's about as far as he got. He is given a choice where he can either go beyond and just not exist anymore, or he can go through the Oblivion Trials, which if he wins, he will be given like one thing, which his whole goal is he wants to make sure that his family is protected since he's no longer there to take care of them.
Okay.
It was all right.
Yeah.
I don't care too much for it. I prefer the art when he's dead. I like the colors a lot more. The story happened in a very weird kind of... It felt like when you're reading in a car and you hit the brakes too soon. Like, it just felt very staggered, I guess. It was all right. I like stories about people dying, and so I was like, cool, this will be cool. And being in hell, and I was like, sick, this will be really cool. And it just wasn't.
Okay.
I am going to read the next one. I think there's only going to be like 5 or 6 issues, but I am going to read the next one to see, because I'm curious to see exactly what the Oblivion Trials are. It reminds me of in Dragon Ball Z when Goku dies for the first time. He has to go down the snake road and he runs in through all these obstacles and stuff. That's kind of what it reminds me of, and that's why I'm interested. Okay. But otherwise, I just don't really care. No. But we'll see. I might be being too harsh.
I don't know, when you have like a fat stack like we do. It's kind of like, well, is this really interesting?
Yeah, and I don't think I'm interested enough in it. I did take it off my pull and just special order the second issue. Because I'm learning.
One comic book at a time. And like then, almost 5 years later.
Same with this one. I got maybe a few pages into this, and I don't know why I ordered it.
Yeah, I was telling you, bro, when I saw that, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, and it's like I said to you, like yesterday, I just see Thor, and I'm like, cool, I'm getting it. And then I don't really necessarily care about it. And that was my issue with this. This is Thor, Lightning and Lament, issue number 1. I just don't really... I don't know. I just wanted like a Thor story that I cared about anymore, because I'm not getting that. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's, and I am going to say...
There's a lot of words in there.
I appreciate this artist, but I am not a fan of this artist.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
Maybe not on that book necessarily.
No, and
everybody looks so big.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's fucking huge. I get it, they're gods, but, like, why are they so just, like...
And maybe I'll read it one day. I just, like, I don't know. I just don't... I feel bad for getting it. I feel bad for being like, yeah, I'll give this a chance. I gave 2 pages a chance, and then I just set it down.
That's a college try.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I'm not even sure if this is just, like, a one-shot or if there's going to be more. I did not look into it at all.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I could not find it on my poll.
I feel like maybe it was just a one-shot then.
It might be. I'll take another look into it, yeah, but I don't know. Tired of wasting my time.
All right. Something that was not a waste of my time was Ghost Cage. This is issue number 3. This is the last issue, so this wraps up the little story. It was really good. I really liked the way this, like, came to a conclusion. I love the art, like, in the black and white colors, and the way the pacing of the story, like, was really interesting. And, like I said, it had reminded me a lot of an anime, but...
It kind of looks like
it. Or, like, a manga. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really great. I would highly suggest, like, grabbing the first 3 issues or picking up the trade whenever it comes out, because it was top-notch. Just a little story about corporations being shitty, honestly. Like, corporations and the heads of them taking advantage of their employees, taking advantage of, like, the people around them, polluting the earth, and, you know, just a few people trying to fight them and save the world in its own way.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I really liked it. And it had a really, like, heartwarming, like, end. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I read all the rest of my comics today, because I only got a few read on Tuesday. And then I read all of Genderqueer last night. And, yeah, that book made me feel really good when I finished it. I was like, yeah, this is why I like comic books.
Mm-hmm. The fact that it was only 3 issues, too, like, that's awesome.
Yeah, each issue was, like, pretty big, like, not huge, but bigger. But it still had just, like, a lot come in those 3 issues, and a very, like, well-told story.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very good. I think I might read the trade when it comes out.
Yeah, I would say. Or I can, let you borrow the issues. Whatever.
Yeah, either way.
Next, we have the last issue of 7 Secrets. This is number 18. Mm-hmm. This just wraps up our little story of Casper. Wraps up real fast.
Yeah, very fast. You get knowledge on what all of the secrets are and how they came into play with the story and how Casper was involved with it. Eamon's whole thing.
Yeah, it was in the end kind of a disappointing story with, like, how strong, like, the first few issues were. Mm-hmm. Where I feel like that first story arc was a really strong, like, first story arc. Yeah. And then it kind of, like, dwindled from there. Like I had said to you before we started recording, I really think it was an issue of pacing. Mm-hmm. Like, the pacing wasn't quite right. The art was great, though. Every single issue, the art was wonderful. Mm-hmm. I always liked looking at the book. The story was just kind of, at that point, like, by this point in the end, it was very meh for me. Yeah. I was ready for it to end.
Yeah, no, I agree. It, there were parts of it that I was, like, satisfied with, but at the same time, like, overall, I did not feel like that was a very strong ending for how much we were getting originally.
Mm-hmm. It feels like it was meant to be more issues, maybe. Mm-hmm. Didn't sell as well, but even if that was the case, I just don't know if it could have even held on, like, that much longer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Without just being like, I don't care. Yeah, like, just we're done. Get to the end. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if the ending could have just come, like, a few more issues earlier, and then given it, like, a couple more issues to the end and taken a little bit of the middle out.
It's fair. I agree.
All right, so let's go on to our next disappointing ending. This is Batman, Catwoman. This is issue number 12.
I don't know what I expected from this, but it wasn't this.
It just wrapped up, and honestly, it just felt like a waste of my time. Part of me does want to go back and read all the issues and see if there was, like, maybe something I missed that was like, oh, this is something. But yeah, this was just, I kind of get that this was Tom King doing, like, a romance story, but it was kind of garbage. As a whole, like, the story was garbage. None of it really mattered. It could have been, like, 4 issues.
The wedding dress on the cover just really gets me.
Yeah,
like, why
it's like kind of see-through in a weird way.
I don't know. I don't know. There were parts that I really did enjoy. Not about this issue necessarily, but throughout the story, there were parts that I liked, and there were parts that I loathed. But I just think overall,
this made me laugh.
Yeah,
this made me laugh out loud. Like, it was like, come. I've got to take off my shirt. We got to go look in this mirror. And the way she's, like, behind him.
The way he's, parting his legs,
it's
too.
It's just comical.
There's something I want you to see
also,
in
like,
the mirror.
How, she would have to be, like, where is she?
I have no idea.
Like, the length of her torso would have to be insane. But yeah, it's, this was not a very good series to read. And I did not like it. I did not like it. I did not care about the end. I did not. Honestly, I wish that the twist that I had thought where Joker was actually the father of, like, there had been an affair, that would have been more interesting.
That would have been so good.
Like, just, like, the fact that they were friends in this weird way that wasn't, like, it was weird.
It really didn't have anything to do with the story.
Yeah, and it was also, like, weird, oddly, like, sexually, like, tensioned for no reason. That's why I was just like, well, of course it had to do with, like...
When do they bang?
Yeah, that's like, well, of course that's where my brain's gonna go.
Yeah.
And then Tom King did not give me that. He just gave me, well, Catwoman kills him. And it's just like, I fucking know. You showed me. I don't care. I don't, like...
All things lead to Batcat wedding, apparently. And that's not what any of us wanted, even though that's what was sold to us from the beginning.
Yeah, I just wanted the bangs, and I didn't even get enough of that.
Yeah.
All I got was just too many Clayman asses during parts that were supposed to be serious, and I couldn't take seriously because of, like, just asses.
Too many spread legs that, like, didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Too many long, weird shaped bodies, like
costumes that were just strange. The only good part of that, Liam Sharp's issues, which also in the long run don't make any sense.
No, they were so good though.
Like, it's just, I get the point of what the story was, and the fact that it was, like, a long con by Catwoman in Phantasm. Like, I get that. But it wasn't good.
No. So there you go. There's our review.
Sorry, I had to get that out of me.
But, no, that makes sense. You've been holding on to that for 12 issues.
I have been holding on for 12 issues.
And a special.
And I like the special, and there are, like I said, there are aspects of it I like. Most of it I did not like. The Joker when he was in the vault, that was good. Like, good and bad.
Yeah, no, there were definitely parts of it that I did like, but I just think overall, maybe I just don't care enough about their relationship.
I just don't care enough about it the way this was told.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been way more interesting. It just really lacked.
She just kept making references to her fucking pussy, and we didn't see anything. Like,
I also just hate, like, and no offense to this book either, straight up offense, all of the Christmas songs.
Yeah, what the fuck did that have to do with anything?
It was just like,
why was that part of the story at all? Because 3 issues took place around Christmas.
Yeah, it's just, anyway, that's a book we read, Batman, Catwoman.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom King.
Thanks so much, my friend. All right, this is, sorry, I have to look at this, Spider-Man 2099 Exodus issue number 3. I actually did not get around to this because I forgot about it, but the other 2 issues, each issue deals with a different, I don't want to call them villains, I've been saying that, but they're not necessarily villains, they're just bad guys and how they deal with certain situations in the future that all lead to this one event that is happening. So,
Okay.
I am not sure who is in this one.
The Avengers are.
It says Avengers, yep. Yep.
It says it on the corner of the
Yeah, I did see that.
cover.
I was pretending that.
I was like, did it say it in this?
But yeah, I feel like this, yeah, it's definitely Avengers. But yeah, I will read this actually because I have been considering, I don't
Celestial Mountain?
know anything about this. I have been enjoying.
No, I guess that's looks like a
Oh, I was like, I can't tell. Yeah, Moon Knight.
So yeah, it looks like a mummy, so yeah,
Sure,
that would
right?
make sense.
But yeah, no, I have been enjoying these stories quite a bit, and I am curious to see like how they
Come together.
come together. Yeah. Oh God, I thought that was part of the story. I was like, what? That's a completely different art. But yeah, Avengers. It's got Amora in it, who you know how much I love Enchantress. I think she's fantastic. I love when she's a baddie. But yeah, that's it. That's it. It says next caught in the web of the Black Widow. So the next one's Black Widow. Cute.
Alright.
Cute. Versus Hawkeye, round 2099. So I will be back for that.
Okay, so I have Swamp Thing. This is issue number 14.
It's getting there.
It's getting to then. There's only 2 more issues. I still really like this book, but there's a lot going on.
Julian sent me a picture of like one page that was very good. It might be the like one of the last pages.
Was it this? I mean, this page?
Yeah, it was that one.
Yeah, this is Swamp Thing, and he is talking to a being, and he's working kind of with Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. And yeah, we're getting towards the end, so I don't really want to spoil it. I do want to go back and read the whole story as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I did go back before this issue when I had to catch up and read like 3 issues, but it's still like coming back to this. I was like, what in the hell is going on right now?
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot going on that I just have to try and remember. So I feel like reading it all at once will be helpful.
Yeah. Who writes that one?
Ram.
Okay.
Yes, it's Ram v.
Hawkins?
Perkins. Mike Perkins, Mike Spicer, and Aditya Bidikar doing the letters. And Aditya Bidikar did just announce on Twitter that they're going to be taking a hiatus from lettering comics, like, for a while. They have, like, the projects they're finishing out, and then...
What are they going to be doing? Do we not get them?
I know that he's working on, like, other, like, writing projects and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, just needs, like, a little break, and it's a big bummer. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really bummed out when I saw the tweet. It was like, well, damn it, that sucks. Like, because that's one of my favorite letterers. And most of my books, like, are lettered by him, and it's just, I get it, and I hope, I wish him all the best. Not that...
Hope to see you soon.
Not that he's listening, but yeah, it's a huge bummer. It's like some books that I, like, think about, like, his lettering in, like Department of Truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Instance. Like, I just don't know, like... I know the book will still be good, but I feel like it just won't be as good.
Right.
But it's fine. People need to rest. People need, like, time, and I respect that. And I respect people who know, like, their limits and can, like, if they can take care of themselves and do other projects that they, like, feel, like, strongly about.
I feel like some people need to, and they just don't.
Yeah. So... hopefully good things come out of this for Aditya. Fingers crossed, yes. All right, so next we have Buffy 97. This is a little one-shot, I guess.
About a catalog witch.
Yeah, it was It was fun. I kind of wish this is what, like, other issues of Buffy were like, but I also don't.
Yeah. I feel like, and we have said this about one other, like, I think the last Vampire Slayer. They really, I personally feel like they captured the voice of Buffy, like, when she talks in here. Like, I could picture her from the show saying this stuff. Like, I think Jeremy Lambert did a really good job, like, writing them.
Yeah, I like the art a lot. Like, I like the colors a ton, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that was, like, one of the things I liked the most out of this book.
Yeah, it was like I said, I didn't like it at first, like, when I first started reading it, but then I actually went back and read it all the way through, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I had a lot of fun with it.
I think it's Spike.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Spike in this.
Yeah.
Who we know is the best character.
That's true. And a lot of Giles learning how to bowl, so...
Yeah, which was also great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little Buffy story.
Mm-hmm. They did a really good job. It's thicker than a normal book, too, so...
And not $7.99 thick, but...
No, it's not, but it costs $7.99. So
that's fine.
Yeah, deal with it.
So next we have Mindset. This is issue number 1. This is a book by Zach Kaplan and God damn it, John Pearson. Yeah, I don't know why I said I want to say John J. John Pearson. And you get to say
Hassan Atsmain El-Haw,
because last time I felt like I did a good job. So this is the first issue, and this was a good team. This just was a very dense book.
Yeah, it's very, very dense. It's just about a guy who accidentally discovers mind control.
Yeah. It starts kind of in the future, and then he starts filling in, like, what happened in the past. And it was really interesting. I do feel like it was a little wordy in parts. I felt like it was really ambitious with, like, the panels and, like, the art itself, which I really liked. I thought, like, that aspect of the story was, like, very interesting, like, what, like, was going on with that, like, the art and the panels. The story was interesting. We'll have to see.
It is a lot to take in. I myself am not a nerd, so...
I don't know if you can say that.
I don't think I can, but I'm gonna pretend. It was a lot, and there were times, like, I didn't feel like I really understood what was going on because there was so much wording. Yeah. Like, every time I thought I had a handle on it, I would get confused by what would happen next. So you really have to pay attention to what is being said in that book. Unfortunately, like, you cannot drift while you're reading it. You have to just pay attention.
I think because I sat down and, like, read it without, like, on Wednesday morning, so I didn't really have any distractions or anything, and I was, like, fully focused in on it. And I still, like, I had to set it down at one point because I was just like, it's a lot, so much. I don't know if you could have extended it into 2 issues, but I feel like if you had made like a issue and a half, like, a little bit longer, because I feel like sometimes the words took up the pages a little much, and, like, the art, which was unfortunate. Like, not that, like, the lettering or anything was poor, it's just a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. And when you turn to a page and you're just like, there is a paragraph, 2 paragraphs worth of writing on this page, it can be a little daunting.
And that's just the end of it.
Yeah, it was good, and I did enjoy it. I would suggest it for people who do, like, sci-fi stuff. Probably people who like 1984, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is very sci-fi thick.
So, go ahead.
I have X-Force. This is issue number 29. This is just X-Force trying to take down I can never remember how to... Cerebrax, who one of the Cerebra units has become sentient, and so they're trying to take it down. The Kid Omega is the one who is kind of headlining this issue, since he knows that he is able to do that. They get a lot of help from Omega, though, which I think is really cool. Omega Red, yes. There's a lot of Omegas in this, I'm sorry. That's what Omega Red, yeah. He has been kind of working in the background with Sage to heal and to become a part of Krakoa and to learn how to ask for help and stuff, which I thought that was a really good part of this, because he doesn't feel like he needs help, but there's this conversation between Sage and Omega Red that is very, very good. So he is helping Kid Omega take down Cerebrax, and it's just really good. I actually really enjoyed this. It's very good. But yeah, some wild stuff happens in this issue. Like the last few pages of it, just like kind of like what happened with me when I read Knights of X. Was that last week or the week? It would have been the week before.
Was it?
Was it? No, yeah, it was last week. Yeah. Either way.
Like, I feel like it has been the last couple of weeks where I've gotten texts from about stuff.
But yeah, kind of when I read that, the ending of that, I had the same reaction to this one, and not that I don't care about these characters, but I don't care for them as much as I do for other ones. So when things were happening in here, it was shocking.
Yeah.
That's all.
All right. I have Sabretooth. This is issue number 4. This book is so good. Like, I really do feel like it is one of the best, like, X books I've read in a very long time. Like, I know I've said that about a lot of books recently, but this is really, really good. This was also supposed to come out May 11th.
I thought it had been a while.
Yeah, it had been a really long time, but so this kind of goes back in time because this is happening during X Lives and X Deaths, because they're mentioning like seeing Wolverine walk around or running around. But this issue, it starts out with a quote by Ida B. Wells. So that was interesting. And then just kind of goes into the story about the character. His name is Third Eye. He's basically bringing everybody who was in the pit back to life, because one of the characters basically destroyed everybody and all of their chains. And he's able to kind of like save them. And this story like also talks about how the word of Sabretooth is kind of getting out and what has happened with him and how he's been just kind of thrown into this pit and how these people are kind of all just kind of forgotten about. It also discusses, there's a X-Log page where it talks about everybody's crime and what they did, and why they were thrown into the pit. And so that page was really, really interesting, and
because they didn't really do anything wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's just kind of like real life when you really like kind of break it down and think about like people being put into prisons and like what that means for them. And it talks about even Sabretooth and how like what he was thrown into the pit for was kind of something that was like asked for from him, and he went out and did that, yet was punished for it. And kind of how even the worst of the worst, we're not given this chance we're not giving them the chance, even in this world where like we're talking about doing other things. There's one that I really wanted to talk about because I thought it was really interesting, especially with a lot of stuff that's going on right now too. Third Eye is the one, this is kind of his log, and he talks about what law he broke, and he broke the first law, make more mutants. And he did that by looking at the future and seeing like all the mutants that like were being created without care, and the kids that were being left behind, which you kind of see in like what Way of X like 2 or 3, and just basically like how like what kind of lives would those kids have, because you're kind of just like leaving them to be forgotten. And you would hope that Krakoa, being this island meant for mutants and supposed to be this beautiful place, should have better social structures than, like, the United States government and the world, like, we put forth, and to be, like, a beautiful paradise that it should be. But obviously that is not the case. So, like, that was something I really thought was interesting. So he had basically told other mutants, like, you know, maybe you should think about these things. And mutants, like, life, like, the producing went down like 20% or something. And so that's why they were put into the pit. So yeah, it was really interesting. I do want to read, like, a little part of it because I thought it was really good. And it says, so what did we do? I'm going to tell you what law we really broke. We didn't know our place. And maybe that's all the enforcement and law enforcement turns out to be. A way to tell you who gets punished and who gets away with a smile and a seat on the quiet council. So yeah, I really love this story. Like I said to you, I just really feel like anyone who reads it should be radicalized, because it is a lot about abolition and harm done to people and how that harm kind of turns around and, you know, ruins their lives and puts them in positions where they're, like, harming other people and being put into positions to continue that harm. And it's an endless cycle. And even in a place that is supposed to be, you know, perfect and be for everyone, it's not the case. And, you know, you really should care about everyone and be willing to, like, go that extra mile to, like, figure out what that means for, like, your communities and your people.
Sabretooth, everyone.
Yeah, no, it's weird, like, taking so much out of this book and being like, this is a book about Sabretooth. Like, this is gonna be just, you know, Sabretooth being an asshole. And it is Sabretooth being an asshole, but, like, at its core, and I think, you know, and I know I've been rambling about this, and I'll stop. I promise. But, like, especially within the last few months, I've just been reading a lot of, like, abolitionist stuff, and I've been listening to, like, a podcast, and it's really, like, easy to see, like, what this story is doing and what it's telling you. And I love that. Like, I love that. I love seeing, like, being like, I hate this dude. I've always hated this dude. He's not a good person, but that's not necessarily all it is.
Right. That doesn't mean he doesn't get another choice. Or
yeah, it doesn't mean. Yeah, and it doesn't mean he doesn't deserve, like, care or, like, help, or just, like, you know, that, like, he doesn't deserve to be thrown into, like, a pit and just, like,
for however long.
Yeah, and just forgotten about. Like, that is truly not it. So yeah, it is wild reading this book and just being like, yeah, this should definitely make people think about, like, abolition. And if you're just reading it, like, I don't know how you're not feeling that way, because that's what this book is about.
Right.
It's about breaking those systems that, like, continually, like, keep people trapped in spots where they're not seen and just, like, oppressed.
Sabretooth,
number 4.
Yeah, number 4. I mean, I got that out of, like, the 2 issues that I read. I think I just read the first 2.
And I think, like, number 3 also just, like, it delves into interesting stuff and, like, how people think. And yeah, it's a good story. I'm amazed every issue.
How many is it supposed to be?
I think 5.
5? That makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like there's only one more.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Let's talk about how corrupt our government is. This is Department of Truth. This is issue number 19. This is just Cole and how everything that's happening is affecting his relationship with his partner.
Yeah.
And how easily his partner can get sucked into it as well.
Yeah. And this kind of has a little twist.
Mm-hmm. That's a cute little twist.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Yep. Good as always.
As always. I mean, and Department of Truth is always a good book. Like, this issue was really great. I felt like it was less confusing than the last issue.
Mm-hmm. It was very straightforward.
Yeah. It helped me also understand what happened in the last issue.
Yeah.
I always suggest this book to people. I I definitely think it's something you should read. And yeah, something that is just discussing how shitty our government is. It discusses how shitty anyone who tries to control the narrative of the world is.
Mm-hmm. And how easy it is to just get lost in it. Get sucked into whatever you're being told.
Yeah, it just shows how, like, malleable people can be.
Mm-hmm. Truth, dude.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
It's terrible.
So next we have What's the Furthest Place from Here? This is issue number 7. This starts a new story arc. Mm-hmm. And this does what I've wanted it to do for, like, at least 3 issues, which I knew was coming. It just goes back in time and kind of shows you, it's showing you how we got to where we were in the beginning of the story.
Without giving too many answers. It's just kind of, it's starting the whole background.
Let's say apocalypse.
Yeah.
I really like this issue a lot.
Oh yeah, I love it. We got Josh Hickson on art. Absolutely love him.
Yeah.
This is just a very good story.
Yeah.
I do like how this it's part of the story, but we're not getting the characters that we're used to.
Yeah, and that's honestly, I almost like this more. It was one of those things when I read this issue, I was like, I like this more than any other issue that I've read, I think.
Yeah.
Like, not that any other issue's been bad, but it's just not been this good.
Yeah. It really just, I like the mystery behind this, because it's starting to explain everything without giving too much of it away. And I'm into it. I'm curious. Yeah. I'm excited. This was a really, really good issue. I liked it a whole lot.
Yeah. It definitely drew me back in, because I've been kind of like, I need you to, like
I
get
get it.
Yeah.
All right.
You get it.
This is a gay book. This is Marvel Voices Pride #1. This technically came out last week, but this variant for some reason came out this week. I just got it because it's Loki. It's all the Lokis. This, just like every other Marvel Voices, is just several stories about queer characters within the Marvel Universe. I really only read the first story because I've read these before. Like, I've read Marvel Voices, but this first story is Loki is a prisoner. He's been captured, so he's trying to get a hold of all the Young Avengers and stuff, and it turns out he wasn't captive at all. It's just no one was answering his phone calls, and he missed them. So he just wanted to... That was the only way he could get them all back together, which is sad for him.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No one answered his phone calls, so he had to pretend get caught so that everyone would come save him so he could have lunch with them. That was a very Loki thing to do, but that's it.
Okay. I have variants #1. And this is a Jessica Jones mystery. The art is by Phil Noto, and the story is by Gail Simone. And I got it because I just love that Phil Noto art so much.
It is so good. I did peruse the issue. I read through it. None of it really made any sense to me, but I was curious.
I am gonna read the second issue because I am curious what the fuck is happening, because it made sense, but then definitely did not make sense. I do not know why there are multiple Jessica Joneses, and I would like to know.
We're in the multiverse era of Marvel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are. But I really like this just because, I don't know, I think it is art. The story was interesting because Jessica's getting ready to get married to Luke Cage. Daredevil asks her to attend the hearing of another woman who had been previously controlled by the Purple Man. And she's trying to basically make her case of, like, why she killed her family, because she was being controlled by the Purple Man. And she has a meeting with Jessica Jones and is like, well, the Purple Man, who can control your brain, left basically like a sleeper agent in this woman's brain. And it started on the anniversary of, like, when she had met the Purple Man.
Okay, that makes sense.
And this takes off when, like, that meeting is like the day of or the day before like Jessica Jones is having her anniversary of like meeting the Purple Man, and when that happens, and then that's when she starts meeting multiple different versions of herself.
Yes.
It
made more sense when you explained it to me like that, because I was like, I don't know what this means. I don't know who Purple Man is. I've never read Jessica Jones. I've never read any of that, so I didn't know who the characters were. I know their names.
Yeah, he controls brains, and like that's his whole gig, is like he had controlled Jessica for like a period of time, like, and she fought against him, and but yeah,
it looks really good.
It looks really good. I don't know, like I said, I just don't know if I'm actually interested in the story, or if it is just like me being like, oh yeah, that art is so great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the colors are really good too. Like, it's just a really good looking book.
Mm-hmm. And it was like fun and interesting, and so I'm just like, well, I'll give it another issue at least.
All right, well, I'll probably read the second one when it comes, because I'm curious.
Yeah.
I just want to know. This is Pentagram of Horror. This is issue number 2. It's just a little satanic horror story.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, there's really nothing to like. There's nothing to it. It's just.
I like the art in the story, and I like the color, like the blue colors that were in it. I don't know if I liked the story a bunch.
It's kind of like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like I said, it's just a story. I don't get it. Like, I just don't understand, like, okay, but like, what is this?
It just feels like one of those C horror movies where it's just like kind of going for that like gore aspect of it, where it's just like, okay, there's these Satanists, and then they just all sacrifice themselves, and in the end it just brings about the creature that brings out the destruction of the earth. Like,
it's Mother.
Yeah, I think that like the thing with the first one, it was very like Hellraiser-esque, but this is very like much exactly like those movies I just described that do exist, and I can't like name one off the top of my head that like hits that aspect, but I know they're there.
Yeah, any sort of movie with like a satanic ritual that brings forth
destruction. Yeah. I did like the first issue a lot. I didn't hate this. But I do hope that like the next issue is a little more like creative.
Yeah.
Because that's like,
I'm curious to see, like, I know it's supposed to be like an anthology of some sort while still being connected, yes. So I'm curious to see, like, once the other, because I think it's only 3 issues, like, once the next issue, even if it's not, once the next issue comes out, like, I am just curious to see, like,
reason I thought it's 7.
how
it's 5.
they all, it is 5?
Yeah.
Okay, how they all connect. Where does it say that? Oh. Yeah, I want to see, like, how they're all connected. I do, like the art a whole lot. I like the way the book feels. Like, physically.
Yeah, the book physically does feel good.
That's how I feel about all Black Caravan books. Every time I get one, I'm like, fuck, this feels great.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Heather 8 billion.
8 billion genies.
I think I did that last time.
Yeah,
too.
you did.
8 billion genies off the wall. I read it by buying it. This is issue number 2. This was just picked up by Amazon Prime for like some universe and TV show or movie and TV show business.
It's just about an event that happens in the world. Each person is granted a genie who will give them one single wish. And it's just, the immediate effects of like these wishes. Yeah. I guess over the next like 6 issues, we'll get to see like what happens over time with the wishes that are made and who hasn't made wishes and how it affects them and all that kind of stuff. So...
And we're following like a main group of people who are all in one bar, and the bartender immediately wished that no wishes would affect anyone inside the bar. But
they would be like safe in there and protected and stuff. So,
but somehow people are still able to make wishes inside the bar that come true, which I did not feel like.
Well, I think it's because it doesn't affect the safety of them within the bar.
Okay,
because I think that was like the main thing was like, if something bad were to happen, they would be excluded from it. So I was wondering about that too, but I think the way that he worded it made it seem like as long as it was like outside. A benign wish that wouldn't affect anyone else.
It was also like outside the bar.
Right.
So I guess, I don't know. I did really like it. I also like, I don't know, it's just one of those things where I just don't feel like it can hold its weight, really. Like, that first issue was fun, but I think that's really all you need. Because I know how human beings act.
Yeah, now it's just going to be like a post-apocalyptic thing where now we're going to have a cult soon.
Yeah, there's just... I don't think it's bad. I think it'll just do a trajectory that makes, like, perfect sense.
Yeah, it's just a book about genies.
Yeah, but we know how genies are. So this is DC vs. Vampire Killers.
This is just Harley Quinn making her way through the world of vampires after they took over Gotham, the world, you know?
Yeah.
She's living in a house with Catwoman, and they're looking after each other. Commissioner gives Harley something that could potentially save the people who are left. So she's trying to figure out what to do with that and why it was given to her.
Yeah. I hated the art in this book.
I hated the art in this book. I absolutely did.
I feel really bad for saying that.
Yeah,
but
I love these stories. Like, I love DC versus Vampire stories, but I did not like this art in it at all. It was weird to me. I didn't like the shapes of the people.
Yeah, and I know there's two different artists. I did not like either of the artists.
Yeah, like, there's just...
Yeah, it was not, and like I said, I can't draw, so that's still unfair of me to say, but I hated it. It did, like, really, like, when I first started reading it, I was like, I don't know if I can fucking read this book.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, I did not, I'm glad you thought that too, because I did not like it. It made me uncomfortable. I was trying not to look at the art. I was just trying to read what they were saying.
Yeah, and I think, the story was really interesting. I liked that aspect of it, but it was just...
It's gross.
Yeah. So next we have Batman Detective. This is issue number 1061. This just wraps up what the fuck was this storyline? The Riddler storyline, which I don't remember the title for what it was called. Riddle Me This.
Where does it say that? Near the end, of course.
At the end. Title makes sense. Just wraps up that story. You learn that Carolyn Donovan wasn't exactly who, like, she seems. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah. I wish it had at least, like, one more issue.
Yeah, it did seem to happen, like, really fast, and I feel like that's been the common theme throughout our comics this week, was, like, when things have ended, it's happened really fast, and they should have taken their time with it, although I don't know what they could have necessarily done differently. It just, did seem
it just was like, very fast. This is done now. Yeah. Like, I didn't think it'd be done already. And then the Gotham Girl Interrupted story also ends, and I really liked that a lot.
Yeah, it was good.
I like the art. I like the way the story ended. I like the mystery of it. And yeah, two pretty good stories.
And next detective starts the Ram story, so
super excited. Oh gosh. And so lastly, we have X-Men Red. This is issue number 4. This is a little political thriller right now.
Yep, there's things that are happening in the universe that affect the X-Men and everyone else. So, yeah.
There's a lot that goes on in here at the same time, where it's just like there's a lot of beats, there's a lot of discussions.
The story with what was he keeps calling himself Wrong Slide, but that's not what his name is. Landslide?
Landslide, yeah.
The conversation that Sunspot has with
Wrong Slide
I thought was really, really good. That was why I was texting you about Gambit last night, because I was like, well, fuck, how is he gonna come back? Like, what's gonna happen to him? Like, he's got a wife and, like, 3 cats.
Yeah, I just, I really like this issue a lot. I'm excited for the next issue, which I'm pretty sure is a Judgment Day issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
This has been really, really good. I've been really enjoying X-Men Red. I had a lot of feelings about it before it came out, because I was like, I've already read X-Men Red. That was 12 issues of my life, and I loved it. But I don't need another X-Men Red. But this is completely different, obviously. But yeah, I love Magneto in this story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know when I don't ever like Magneto, but I really like him in this one.
I think I like him in every story. I like everybody in the story besides like the people that actually like kind of suck.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is a very vague statement, and I love that because that's how I feel too.
Well, it's mainly like Abigail Brand is like the worst. What's his name? I hate. Who died? What's his fucking face?
Havoc?
No, was it Havoc?
I don't remember. I know it was a Summers, right?
It was a Summers.
It's not Havoc.
Yeah,
I don't care about the Summers family, so like I don't remember their names. I'm gonna be that person. I genuinely don't care about that family.
I mean, I know they say it like right in the beginning.
They do, because, well, shoot. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, someday. We'll tell you. Yeah. But yeah, those two are the worst, and I hate them. At least in this story.
Mm-hmm. Nope, not Roberta.
Yeah, like I said, it's
whatever. It's the Summers that dies.
But that's it. That's all we got.
Yeah.
So we're done. I hope you have a great day. I hope you go support your local comic book shops, your local libraries, your local abortion funds.
Do what you can to protect the fucking people you love.
Yeah, that's really it. Right now, it's like we're basically fighting for our lives. We're gonna die in a world of fire and smoke and smog. But at least we have each other, right? Mm-hmm. And we'll keep doing this as long as we can.
Yeah, we just gotta get paid a little bit more money so that I can afford my comics once I can't afford them anymore.
So yeah, we love you. Take care of each other right now, especially because shit sucks. Check in on your friends, especially people you know that are probably having the worst time ever right now.
2022, just pass it on time.
And we'll see you on the flippy flip.
Bye, we love you.